Good morning and good afternoon to everyone. We want to welcome and thank you guys for joining today's webinar, Consolidating the In-Store and Digital Experience, the New Age of Marketing. In today's presentation, I'll introduce and welcome our hosts. We have Johnny Anderson, Senior Client Success Associate, Jackie Parzavand, Research Manager, and Rashida Jampeni, Senior Community Manager. Our agenda for today will include the new age of marketing, maintaining high impact across digital and physical spaces, proper investment into the right channels and technologies, and the consolidation of digital and physical spaces. My name is Lisa Lopez. I'm the content specialist here at Fuel Cycle, and I'm very excited to have you with us all today. Before we start, I have a few housekeeping items. We will have a Q&A session at the end of today's webinar. If you have any questions at any time throughout today's presentation, feel free to submit them to either the question or chat box inside the GoToWebinar interface. We will catalog them throughout the presentation and come back to them at the end of the presentation. Also, I wanted to mention, if you haven't joined us before, we have a substantial catalog of case studies, white papers, webinars, and industry resources located at fuelcycle.com under the resources section, which I encourage you to take a look at when you do have the time. Today's webinar should take about 30 to 35 minutes, and then we'll go into a 10-minute Q&A session. So with that, I would like to introduce our presenters today. We have Johnny Anderson with us. Johnny has 6+ years of experience with social research, technology, training, project management, and collegiate teaching, including courses on gerontology. His research experience includes surveys, IDIs, focus groups, and art-based research on topics such as marketing and advertising for films and political campaigns. Next, we'll have Rashida, who received a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration with a concentration in marketing from Northeastern University in Boston, and has worked in market research for over 4 years. She is currently a Senior Community Manager and focuses on optimizing member engagement and content strategy, as well as ensuring clients in the retail, healthcare, and entertainment industries maximize the use of their online community. Previous to Fuel Cycle, she worked in the entertainment and media division at Lieberman Research, primarily focusing on TV movie trackers and home video. Next, we have Jackie, who began her career studying a field of research that analyzes the behaviors and biomarkers of consumers to provide clients with neuro-inspired insights to consumer activities. Now, as a research manager at Fuel Cycle, she works with the world's leading brands to engage current and future customers and stakeholders to drive insights, innovation, and advocacy via online communities. So, without further introduction, I will hand this over to Rashida, who will get us started.
Great, thank you, Lisa. Older marketing models utilized more traditional forms of advertising, where a company would focus on one large launch that aimed to gain new customers. With consumers more knowledgeable and more online than ever, this model isn't sustainable. Forbes recently featured an article about how shoppers visit clothing retailer Zara around 6 times a year, where the normal frequency is 2 to 3 times a year. How is Zara able to double the industry average and encourage more repeat visits? They're focusing more on how they're selling rather than what they're selling. Focusing on how you're selling involves paying attention to the 4 E's rather than the previous 4 P's of marketing. The 4 E's of marketing are experience, exchange, evangelism, and every place. Before, marketers focused solely on the product. For clothing retailers, this could be pushing clothing from the latest collection. For consumer packaged goods companies, this could be the latest product release. Questions you should keep in mind when crafting your marketing strategy are: how easy is it for customers to find the products they're looking for? Are there unique store displays? How interactive is the customer's shopping journey online? And overall, is the actual shopper's experience enjoyable? Consumers nowadays have more options and greater access to products, so it's crucial to optimizing their experience, whether it's in-store or online. Price also used to dictate success. The cheaper, the better. Consumers now look for more of an exchange of value. How convenient and easy is it to get what I want while paying a decent price? If I pay a little bit more, will I get more on-trend products or products that last longer? More traditional forms of advertising, like radio, magazine, and TV, are being replaced with brand evangelists, loyalists, and enthusiasts that can act as advocates for your brand. These advocates are key for marketers to capitalize on. We recently polled members of a health insurance community on whether they would recommend that company to their friends or family. 51% of those who completed the poll were found to be promoters of the brand. Whether they have a small or large network, when they share their enthusiasm about a brand, their friends and family are more likely to follow suit because they have a greater connection with them. Brands can no longer rely solely on providing an enjoyable in-store experience. Being able to seamlessly connect a consumer's journey in person, online, or on a mobile app is important, and Zara does just this by developing a strategy for both online and offline commerce. Google's studies show that more than 50% of mobile users won't recommend a business with a poorly designed mobile site. When you're able to provide a seamless experience through all mediums, consumers have greater access and are more likely to stay engaged with your brand. As we previously mentioned, it's not only important, but it's necessary to focus on the customer experience, as the most loyal customers account for 80% of retail sales. We have a community comprised of small business owners that sell a variety of products and services. Small businesses don't have large marketing budgets, so they really rely on their top customers to spread the word and to attract new customers. One common piece of advice shared between members is to focus on providing the best customer service or experience. In one of our retail communities with over 20,000 members, members frequently make comments about how helpful a store associate was or how easy it was to find what they were looking for. They cite this as a reason for returning to that specific store location. Now, if this is the same experience they encountered at all store locations, they would be more inclined to return to that store in general. Utilizing an online community to gather this type of feedback can really help you understand what's most important to the customer. This specific retailer also has a mock store set up to test the customer shopping journey. Regardless of the industry, this is a top priority. How relevant is this for you and your business? The higher the engagement, the more likely customers will want to stay connected with your brand. Zara is a prime example of a company that has essentially tossed out product-centric marketing methods and focused on the customer. They have over 25 million Facebook followers, 16 million on Instagram, and over 1 million on Twitter. Another example is cosmetics retailer Ulta, who has really revolutionized the beauty purchasing experience. They have 3 million followers on Facebook and nearly 5 million on Instagram. Plain and simple, customer experience coupled with high engagement yields a more successful brand.
Thanks, Rashida. Yeah, so if the emphasis here is on, making this high impact, we obviously have to discuss what high impact really means. And, we've had discussions about digital media channels, but now we have to discuss the birth of social media, which has really had cataclysmic results in essentially every industry. And brands have to adapt quite quickly to maintain the attention of their customers. So we look at consumers who were once held captive by things like print and television advertisements. That's now spread very thin across multiple digital channels. And what this has done is created a very visible paradigm shift in power between consumer and brand and the monopolistic influences that business and advertisers once had on their customers. That's quickly faded. And so this means that the marketer and the brand must create new content that is available at all times across all digital channels. And so if we're talking about new channels, this means that new methodologies are a necessity. So enter user-generated content, and digital media brands of all sorts would be prudent to have a marketing outreach that really supplements user-generated content. And this means assessing and identifying the right influencer, and of course, partnering with this key customer to add to, an already existing conversation. So rather than picking which publication or website to advertise or market on, companies are often selecting which influencer to work with. And influencers have a lot of different elements or factors that are often taken into account, like different communication styles, their geographic region, their specific area of influence, or even their scope of influence. And the latter refers to, essentially their capability to reach a certain number of people. So this really allows for demographic infiltration like never before. And so what it really helps to do is sell a lifestyle. Products don't exist in a vacuum. They really accentuate a particular way of displaying ourselves to the world that people are actively working to either achieve or maintain. And so when we, further this conversation about influencers, if you aren't using influencers or even micro-influencers yet, you definitely should be. And this is a whole new era of what we were previously considering product placement. Many companies partner with influencers who have really high Instagram or Snapchat followings to promote products. And consumers really tend to like these because they not only get product information, but they often get a pretty detailed review as well. And what I would consider to be the most important aspect of this is that these influencers act as curators for millions of people who either feel really overwhelmed by an abundance of products or potentially apprehensive to try new products or brands that they're not familiar with. So endorsements of these kinds are often seen or even positioned as partnerships rather than advertisements. And consumers often trust these endorsements more than traditional forms of reviews found in things like publications or consumer websites. Even if the followers of these influencers knowingly acknowledge that this partnership is monetarily based, they often feel that the influencer wouldn't agree to the partnership if they didn't truly believe in this product that they're showcasing.
Thank you, Johnny. So Johnny talked a lot about reaching those influencers, and now what I want to go over is how to utilize technology to make a greater impact. So one of the technologies really being utilized today is artificial intelligence. So let's kind of start with what artificial intelligence is. So AI makes it possible for machines to learn from experience, adjust to new inputs, and perform human-like tasks. Most AI examples that you hear about today, from chess-playing computers to self-driving cars, they rely heavily on deep learning and natural language processing. So using these technologies, computers can be trained to accomplish specific tasks by processing large amounts of data and recognizing patterns in that data. So when this is applied to the outside world, AI makes it possible to take a people-first approach to technology that adapts to the needs and individuals of how we interact now in our digital world. In the past, people have learned to think like computers, but now we are really utilizing computers to think like humans. So this is a very important strategic shift, as it presents an opportunity to rethink how agencies can use technology to better serve customers, achieving more by allowing them to realize the real outcomes. In addition to AI, retailers must continuously test and invest in new digital touchpoints, meeting customers where they are and really in their homes as well. So for example, intelligent agents over the next 5 years are estimated to grow faster than any other channel. And AI-powered assistants such as Amazon Echo or Google Home represent an entirely new playing field for retailers. So now moving into how this is changing the in-store experience. As artificial intelligence gets smarter, technology will streamline traditional jobs. So employees of the future must be able to give outside value, more value than just being a cashier. So companies like CVS, Target, and Walmart have nearly standardized the automated kiosks in thousands of their stores all around the country. These technologies are popular with consumers who about roughly 70% expect and prefer a self-service option, both in-store and online. Retailers such as Best Buy and Sephora, on the other hand, have transformed their in-store associates into tech specialists or beauty consultants, giving consumers a compelling reason to visit the store beyond just purchasing items solely. These added value services forge deeper relationships with existing customers and can more effectively win over prospective customers who have been seeking tech or beauty help because they are unhappy with a competitor's product offering. So let's take a page out of Amazon's playbook. Amazon grows from iterating two concrete operational steps. The first is selecting the right metrics against which to judge success, and the second is identifying and executing new tactics which improve those metrics. There's much more to be learned about the business strategy from Amazon's lifetime performance, and one can actually write a book about the Kindle itself, which you could purchase, read, and actually review on your Kindle. The key takeaways from Amazon's e-commerce lessons is clear. Market research tells you what you need to know to make your business successful, but you have to be determined to act on those findings and stick with them over time to realize the benefits. Amazon did this and survived the bursting of the dot-com bubble to become the leader it is today.
Awesome. Thank you, Rashida, Jackie, and Johnny. That was super informative and interesting to hear. I've got a few questions that have come in so far. So the first question comes from David, who wants to know, what would your advice be for companies who are new to working with influencers or who want to get started but don't know how? And I'll hand this over to Johnny since he spoke about influencers.
Yeah, so, we have quite a few communities that, try this out for the first time or want to expand previous iterations of it. And in particular, here at Fuel Cycle, we had a case study with Elle, where what they wanted to do was sort of, find a way to segment the members in their community in a way to sort of narrow down who would be a good influencer. So within their research community, they identified a subset of what they deemed the most socially active or engaged consumers, and created this much smaller group that would exist within their larger community. And it would be that group that would be used to inform advertisers on whatever case-by-case basis to provide these granular insights that would help to optimize these advertising partnerships. So they had an application process which was dispersed to the members, and that covered everything from their social followings, their fashion habits, their beauty spending habits, and they asked whether members ran their own blogs or if they've worked with advertisers before, and then submit a writing sample just so that they know that that element of the task was going to be present in their work. And they received over 700 applications, and from that larger pool, 100 women were selected to be part of the social club. And then in a larger case study, when Elle wanted to work with one of their advertisers to find out whether a beauty brand was seeing consumers being pleased with these results, they reached out to these what was deemed these social club members, asked them to try these products for 2 weeks. They tested it, and they were able to provide a very thorough review on the brand website as well as in the research community. And key takeaways at a very high level, 67% of the testers in that group said they would consider purchasing another brand product in the future, and 64% explored other products from the brand. So it certainly had a good outcome and a high level of influence because they were then able to share that out on their social media accounts. So it's a fairly straightforward process.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Johnny. We do have another question from Lauren, who asks, what are some of the ways that you have witnessed the companies you work with creating a winning omni-channel experience? How have they merged the lines between physical and digital spaces? And I will hand this over to Rashida to respond to.
Great. Many of our clients utilize their online community to engage with their members and further the initiatives of their business. One of our clothing retailer clients utilized members from their community to attend try-on sessions for new products at some of their stores. This enabled them to gather real-time feedback. Another retailer community sent prototypes of kids' t-shirts that were yet to be released, and based on members' feedback, released that particular design in the market. This helped cultivate a deeper connection with the brand as they received insider access. Additionally, one of our clients, a fashion magazine, invited their social club members, similar to what Johnny was previously mentioning, and influencers to attend exclusive events in the New York area. Offering these unique experiences for your customers helps to keep them engaged, and the online community can aid in the success of these experiences.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Rashida. I think that's all the questions we've had so far. If anyone is out there and still on the fence about whether to submit their questions, now would be the time. In the meantime, we will be responding to any questions that come in later to our team to answer individually if you do have any follow-up questions. But thank you so much, Johnny, Jackie, and Rashida, for your time. We look forward to seeing everyone on future webinars, and thank you so much for joining us.